Hey guys, welcome back to Instructions for Humanity. It's your girl, Tahira, Mother of the Ages. I'm your supernatural quantum healer. I do past life regression quantum healing sessions. If you want to book a session with me, email me instructions4humanity@gmail.com. Guys, let's jump right into this very important video today. Spirit wants to talk to us about the severance soul. The severance soul. So when you think about severance, right, the most common thing we think about is when a job wants to get rid of you, it gives you a severance package. It's saying, here, I know you're no longer going to be employed here, but let me give this to you. This is going to sever our ties. So you will have an aspect of what you've brought to this company. Here, let me give you 20,000 or whatever it is, so that you can be on your way, and that I also too know that I have given you something for a job well done at the company. Spirit is saying that our soul absolutely can be a severance soul. And so I don't really know what that means. But we're going to find that out. This is what the teaching that Spirit is bringing into me or awakening within me. So we're going to do a little bit of a light language, and then I'm just going to decode what Spirit is saying about the severance soul. So let's do that, and then we're going to break this down of what Spirit is saying about the severance soul. Nicola Kishkira Nicola la Carla. Ule Kedeshkira Pekila, Ule Kedenoshkara Nakira, Ida la Kirika, Ule Kedana, Ule Kedeshkira Kedikawaha. Ule Kedeshkira Pekira Washkira Miko, Ule Kedekala Baka, Ule Kedeshkira Pekira, Kedeshkira Pekira Lashkaniki, Nini Kedeshkira. Ida Karashkira Kelaki, Ule Kedeshkira Kedera, Ule Kedeshkira Pekira, Medicare, Medicare, Medicare. So what Source is saying about the severance soul is that everything starts in the heart space. We are severanced, we are separated because our heart is no longer in it. Our heart wants to be somewhere else in consciousness. Consciousness is having awareness of itself. So it now has the awareness that it wants to be somewhere else. So it becomes a severanced soul. Now, how can we sever our soul, right? Yeah, sorry, fooling around with this jacket. So we can severance our soul by our own will to do so, our own will to want to partake in lower field things, lower energetic things. We can absolutely severance our soul that way. We can also get tricked into severancing our soul as well. A lot of people in dream states, a lot of beings, negative entities, monitoring spirits will try to attack them and feed off of their soul, get you to take a covenant with a being, right? And you can become a severed soul. But the main way, or where we do it, is really through the heart space. The heart is always to remain as light as a feather anytime. Anytime the heart is not as light as a feather, we must always go into auto-correct this, right? We have systems in place inside of our spirit consciousness that will actually biohack and kind of jumpstart, right, the energetic frequency within our soul. Our soul can become deadened. Our soul can become like you're sitting at a job that you don't want to be at. This is what Spirit is saying. What Spirit wants to talk about, the severance soul. So we severance our own soul because we become bored, in a way, of our job. We have jobs here to do, here on the earth school, or whatever incarnation that you're in. That is your assignment. That is your job. But just like any job, you still have the will to not complete that job. And this is what creates a severed soul. So that's the first message of what Spirit is saying. So now I want to know, like, what happens to the severed soul? Like, where does it go? So let's dig a little bit deeper and find out, where does the severed soul go? So Spirit is saying, if the severed soul is not careful, then it can go whichever way that the wind blows. And that's why our GPS system is always needs to be present, which is our spirit, or spirit consciousness. We can end up in places in the in-between spaces. So like purgatory, or what I like to call the fourth dimension, where you're just right outside of this physicality when we have a severed soul. See, the thing is, just like when you leave from one job to the next, you need to know where you're going. Why are you leaving this job? Why have you fallen out of love with this job? Is it something else that is calling you? You need to have a spirit conscious awareness of what that is, so that you will be in an easy flow state, flowing from one thing to the next. Because if you are a severed soul and you do not have that next leg of frequency expansion to go to, then you can get stuck in the in-between. So that's why Spirit is saying that you could go whichever way that the wind blows. So you can absolutely get stuck in a purgatory state. Even though you're walking around still doing the same day-to-day tasks, you can be stuck in a purgatory state once that soul has been severed. And what Spirit is saying, that our soul gets severed from the divine, from our divine assignment. We're all here on assignment, right? Some of us are here for royal cosmic assignments, and some of us are just here. If you're in a physical body, you are here on assignment, right? Even if it's just to be background noise, right? You're still here on assignment. So once you sever that, or once the divine severs that, typically the severance is because you are no longer a key player for that particular company. You're no longer moving forward with them. So absolutely, Source can sever our contracts too, when it no longer sees us as a good fit for that position. We can get swapped out. This is how you get jump-ins. People, other beings, or other souls rather, jump in to your body and your soul because it's been severed from the divine. And what this really is being severed away from the tree of life, which exists within your DNA. So that your jump-ins come in and they will fulfill your mission, or your assignment, your earth assignment. So this is also part of the severance soul. So you can sever the soul if you do not want to do it in the heart space. That's why a lot of people are depressed. They have a lot of anxiety and worry. They really are not in tune to do this task, to do this assignment, this human assignment that they've been assigned. And so we can sever it ourselves. That's part of this free will, or veritable will, as I like to call it, that we have. But Source can absolutely sever it. If you are in position, you are the perfect person in position to do a certain thing that's going to, snowball a lot of other things that needs to happen within creation, and you're not able to do it, you don't want to do it, you're not moving fast enough, absolutely. You can get taken out. You can become a severanced soul, where now someone else has jumped into your body, another soul who will take the driver's seat, right? And so what happens to that soul at that period of time is you get pushed back in consciousness. You almost get sedated. It's like you're here for the ride. You're still there. Your soul is still there, but you've lost the ability for your soul to actually be in control of the body. So what happens is you are now become an observer of just the other soul that has jumped in to your body, right? And so a lot of people who are heavily sedated on drugs, sources say they've had severed souls. So they've actually voluntarily taken a back seat. And instead of actually getting something righteous inside of them, they get demonic beings because they're vibrating on the lower frequency. So the only people that will be a frequency match is going to be your lower level kind of demon-like beings that kind of jump in and take over. Their soul is still there, but it's heavily sedated, right? And so the entity that actually jumps in wants to keep them in that state, right? So it's not going to do anything to wake them up at all. So this is all components of the severed soul. So let's dig a little deeper and see what else Source wants to tell us about the severed soul. So Source is saying we are constantly to be in a flow state. Anytime you are in a flow state, you are congruent with the plan. It is involuntary. We are to be in an involuntary state. It's what Source is making me just move my body like this, almost as if I'm swimming, right? This is what actual true work looks like. It's actually involuntary movement. It's the flow state, is what Spirit is saying, is what my spirit consciousness is saying. When we stop this flow state and we start to only use our conscious mind, this is now what creates the severed soul. Because the natural ebb and flow of Source has stopped. You have stopped it. And now what you're saying is, in your limited capacity, 12% of your conscious mind, you're going to now try to do this big task that was already, already pre-programmed in a way. But you're saying, no, I'm going to use the 12% of my mind to actually do all of this, that in which you were already contracted to do and you already coded to do in your DNA. So when you get out of a flow state and you start to really want to control things in your life and not really lean into Source, then that becomes also a severed soul. Someone who just wants to go at it alone. Someone who doesn't want help and doesn't want help from the divine, That's what it really is. Someone who will not seek help from the divine. They're trying to do it all on their own. They now become a severed soul. Severed soul, it doesn't mean that you are like, oh, I'm going to go to hell or something like that. But what it means is you're not getting the best out of this experience. You're contracted to be here. But now you become a severed soul. So you're just kind of waiting for the body to pass away because you've been disconnected, like someone unplugged you, right? But you're still plugged into the wall, but the other adapter piece is unplugged from you. Source is unplugged from you. So you have to wait to get plugged back in. You're waiting to get picked again for the game. That's what Source is saying. They will allow us to be severed souls. That's part of our free will or veritable will that we have. But you will be back in an incarnation if you are a severed soul. Your assignment is your true authentic self. Anybody that is not standing in true authenticity, you are not on assignment. You now become a severed soul. When you are doing your thing and then you look at another man and what they're doing, then you jump in their lane and you stop doing what you're doing and then you start to follow them, you become a severed soul, a severed soul at that point because you are off assignment. So that's another way where we become a severed soul, is when we get off of our assignment, what we came here to do. Okay? So this is just a short teaching about the severed soul. This is what Spirit wanted to tell us today. I'm not going to make this video too long. I'm going to leave this right here, but I do want to say I love you guys. I love you guys. Guys, seriously, book a session with me. Email me instructions number 4humanity@gmail.com. Guys, it's getting more intricate. I'm working with our DNA strands. I'm really going in, dissecting the 5 bodies of consciousness to heal the inner child, masculine, feminine, oversoul, and shadow, right? All in one. This is the only way to fully make a true transition to true enlightenment. We have to get inside of that DNA and cleanse it. We have to. I'm going to leave it here, guys. I'm going to leave it here, but I love you. The birds, the bees, and all of the trees love you too. Love is the way. Forgiveness, it is the key. And truth is the absolute light that will always guide us home. Be well, guys. Bye.